Okay. Hello, everybody. Thanks for your time today. My name is Jim Thompson. I'm CEO of Cog Books. I'm sorry I've got a bad throat today, so can everybody hear me at the back of the room? Sounds okay. Okay, thumbs up. Okay. Okay, here's a quick overview of our product and what we do as a company. We're an adaptive learning company. We have an authoring and delivery platform for adaptive learning. If anybody in the room is not familiar with adaptive learning, I'll come back to that later and give you a little bit more in depth on it. The product intelligently personalizes to each student at each step. We've been doing this for some time, so we've been delivering a robust and scalable solution for around 7 years. It's a very advanced adaptive technology, and I'll come on to that. It allows institutions to create and deliver adaptive curricula very quickly and easily. We offer an open content model, which means that institutions can use content from open sources, from other publishers, and so on and so forth to deliver through the adaptive engine. And it's a plug-and-play system that works with other systems. Okay, I'm going to just do a couple of really text-heavy slides here so you can get the picture of the company, and then I'll go on to speak about the product itself in a little bit more detail. So a company was set up by me with some of the people I was working with in Silicon Valley at the time in 2005. Our vision is to bring science-based learning to online learning. At that time, we felt most of the products out there didn't do that very effectively, and we saw a real opportunity to bring a lot of the good research that's out there into learning into the online field. In terms of the potential for the product, it's a cloud-based platform for institutions. Adaptive learning has been recognized at the moment as a really key technology for improving online learning. It addresses the dual needs of improving student attainment and reducing cost. The Cog Books platform is very useful in the sense that it applies to any topic and subject area, and I'll come back to that. And it plugs and plays with most systems. It's a very robust enterprise architecture. Here you go. Here's the second slide of heavy-duty text. The product itself is based on an algorithm-driven adaptive engine as opposed to rule-based engines and so forth. I'll come back to that. We've been highly rated in a recent report commissioned by the Gates Foundation. We've been selected by a number of leading US education institutions to help them deliver adaptive curricula. All methods based on research-led learning theory, a 7-year-old platform, and very robust and scalable. In terms of predictability of the business model for the future, we already have implementations underway. We're targeting 50 higher education implementations within the next 18 months. We see huge opportunity for growth. Cloud-based interoperable solution, which means it works with other products. So we're using our product to help institutions deliver adaptive learning, but we can plug into LMSs, we can plug into other people's data analysis systems and so on. And also the open content model, which means people can use any content in the system. We're currently looking to raise a round of investment of order $7 million, and would certainly be happy to speak to people about that. Okay, that's the text-heavy slides done with. Now I can relax. A little bit of background. This is from an Inside Higher Education survey of provosts in the US, highlighting they're seeing adaptive testing and learning as the trend most likely to give a positive impact in education, much higher than, for example, MOOCs. And why are people interested in adaptive? So for students, it's improved effectiveness and reduced learning times. For instructors, it's better data and tools to help them support their students, as well as automation of some of the teaching tasks. And for administrators, we're finding it's the increase in higher completion rates, reducing costs clearly, and this last point here for me is really the most important. These adaptive solutions deliver huge amounts of granular data that you can then use to help improve the way you support students and improve the way you deliver your learning in the future. This is a couple of excerpts from the Gates report that was produced by Education Growth Advisors, indicating where we sit on the spectrum of adaptive technology and also maturity of technology. And then this slide is just going to give you a quick run through the genealogy of adaptive learning. Lots of different kinds of adaptive learning systems, all trying to personalize learning experience. And if you run down from the top, You can start off with splitting up into linear, micro, and macro. Micro-adaptive systems are ones that deliver, dynamically deliver personalization of the learning experience at each step for the learner. Sequence algorithm systems are ones that use an algorithm to do that as opposed to using rule-based and pre-programmable approaches. And then at the bottom there, the adaptive network approach allows us to bring in a whole range of learning theory methods to support the adaptive algorithm. So we don't just use, for example, retention and memory management tools or test-driven approaches. We use a whole range of data to optimize the learning sequence. Okay, and just in the last couple of minutes, I will talk about what that means. So in a standard, online learning delivery, if each of these dots here represents an individual learning experience, they're usually delivered as a fixed sequence to the learner, one after the other. Every learner has the same experience. It's not a good learning experience. In Cog Books, we arrange the learning activities in a network rather than a linear sequence, and then an algorithm identifies the optimal sequence through that network for each learner, and it recalculates that sequence at each individual step. So a very sophisticated algorithm is being used here, taking in lots of streams of data to work out where to take the student next. So each student can follow their own path through the network. And there's two really huge benefits that come from this that are really obvious. One of them is the students don't all have to go through all of the material, so they save huge amounts of time, which they can use for other things, other learning activities. And the other is that if they get into trouble, they can get personalized support. So it's like having a personal tutor instead of this experience of sitting here and having a lecture, which is at the same fixed sequence. Everybody has to listen to it at the same pace. Just to recap, we offer this solution with an open content model. That means you can draw in content from other websites or from publishers and add learning activities to it. We also have an open data model, which means that you can extract the data and use that to improve your learning experiences. And it's easy. The architecture is a real enterprise-grade architecture, highly scalable and easy to plug into. That's us. Please feel free to contact me. I'm going to quickly scan back through the slides if it will let me. I'll bring up my contact information. There you go. Quite a quick rewind of my presentation for you all. So feel free to contact us there. You can learn more about the product there. We're making huge traction in the higher education sector in the US at the moment, and we're very happy to speak to higher education institutions, publishers who'd like to help get their content into an adaptive form, and potential investors. Thanks for your time. Sorry, somebody asking a question, and we have a few seconds. I'm sorry, could you say that again?
Given that an individual faculty member would or wouldn't use this product, when you go to a university, or do you not completely sell it?
We're usually selling at pretty much the highest levels in the university. And I think this type of approach is more applicable to institutions where the faculty are willing to follow the lead of the leadership of the university. It's a good question. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate your time.